Hello, everyone. Get the lights adjusted here. Wait a minute. There we go. There we go. There we go. Welcome, everybody. See a few people here already in the room waiting for me to come in. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Sunday evening. This is Sunday Evening with Roxanne here at Odyssey of Ascension. I'm your host, Roxanne, where we talk about the ideas about ascension, the ideas about enlightenment, the ideas about consciousness, anything that helps us understand our journey here today. We're going to have Sly Channel today, and he is going to answer a question that was brought to me last week from a listener. And she had a great question, and I think we're going to go ahead and do that this evening, which will be funny, or fun. And good evening, Kim. Thank you so much. Kim appreciates life. Welcome to the show. It's always good to see you. Master J's in the house. Hey, Rox. Hello, darling. Welcome to the show. If you're out there, folks, please say hi in the chat. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you would like the content that we're putting out here. Alex M is in the house. Hello, Alex. Hello to you. What else we got going? Who else is here? Say hi. It's a good question. We'll get to that in a minute. I think, wondering, do you want to read it, or you want me to read it? I'm talking to Sly. Hang on. Hi, Bon. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Thanks all for tuning in. Yeah, I'll read it, and then Sly's going to come in and answer it a little bit. And Renee is in the house. Renee Marie Anderson Glenn. Love and light. I made it. Yes, you did. Welcome so much for coming in with us tonight. Already almost through the middle of the month. It's another fast month. Everything just seems to go fast. For me, anyway, my life is just zipping right along. It's really fun. Yeah, and getting closer to Halloween, my season, my holiday, you know. I love the Halloween season. It's kind of a bummer, though, because our apartment complex, and they have a pretty enforced idea about decorations. You can do stuff on your balcony, but I face trees and a lake, so no one's going to see my stuff. But you know, you can't put stuff on the outside stairwell, and it has to be very subdued, and the stuff that you put on the thing. So they don't encourage it much because they don't want people to get offended because someone else is celebrating this, and you might have this over here, this over there. And it's, yeah, so it's kind of dull around here. Wonderful apartment complex as far as maintenance and people. Well, you don't get to do a lot of decorating. I do have a wreath on my door. That's my fall wreath, and then I have a Halloween one. I'll put that up, and you know, they're good with that. So it's, you know, there's not those big decorations that you see when you go through the neighborhoods and such. Dominic is here. Dom, hello, baby. How are you? Good to see you. And Lucia made it. Hello. Hello. So yeah, let's get going. What do you say? I'm going to read this question, and then we'll have Sly come in and talk about it a little bit. And then I'm sure he's going to do what he normally does and just carries on and talks wonderfully about creation. All right, so I had a question, and I'm going to, from Miriam, and that's not her whole thing, but Miriam is the first part of her thing. She goes, Dear Roxy, I love your reply to I have. She had one question, I replied. And then she goes, there's something, if at all possible, of course, for my lovely Sly to help us about a perception and how the perception plays with or into your reality. Sly, to help us about perception, or help us with perception, and how perception plays with or into our reality. Well, I can tell you right now, hi, Dom. I can tell you right now, your perception always unequivocally, without fail, is always participating in your reality because that's your experience. The way you interpret the world, good, bad, indifferent, high, low, this or that, is your subjective feeling of the world about that experience. That's your truth. Okay, there's a key about that. We'll get to that, I'm sure, slide. So plays into a reality. For example, perceive that there is not enough people in this world who really do inner work. Is all about perception, which is my view. Don't really let me see the whole picture. If you don't know, I'm so confused. How can I dissolve perception because it is interfering with consciousness? I watched the Circle of Light interview since I cannot get it out of my mind. Too much things, still don't get it, projecting reality. So she's quite a bit confused here. And it seems humanity has a really habit. And from my perspective, here's why we have this habit. First, let me talk about the habit. The habit is you pile too much shit on your mind. You just put it all on you and you're trying to figure it all out. And why we do that, I think it's because it's an act of heroism. Heroic. It's a heroic act. Because the more you can handle with your mind and put things in order, the better you are. A concept taught from childhood that the more you can figure out and the more you can make things make sense, the smarter and better you are, which is such horseshit. It's a crock of shit. It's a sellout to knowledge and identity of being smart and being this person created identity. It's wonderful for humanity. You can be as smart as a button, and I don't know if buttons are smart. You can be very smart, and you get high education. You can answer all the questions, but that doesn't matter if you interpret your reality as you are experiencing a train wreck of life. Okay, you cannot have an avatar that seeks happiness to support your reality as conclusionary on what reality is, the pursuit and maintenance of happiness, which is just a total farce. But we chase it as separation is because that's all we know. We know pain and good. We know fail. We know success. And we were taught that from when we're little. And we have to pursue it, and knowledge is part of that. If we have enough knowledge, we can get maybe a better job and have more money to do more things. And that cycle continues. And we have this and we live this wonderful life of separation. Okay? So you have to look at that. You have to look at the confusion that you're putting on yourself. You're trying to manage it all. And what it is the first thing I think I want to say, and then we'll get Sly in here, is you can't take things from the outside as scripture. You have to allow those outside your reality introduction with ideas to be understood by you on a subjective level of interpretation, not a reactive level of interpretation from your ego structure. And you sure as hell, which I have learned massively, never depend on permanency. Never depend on something as a finality of truth. Always know the 5 laws are the existing truth. Those don't change. Everything else is up for evolution to handle, and that's up to you. You can hold a truth as a permanency. That's not right or wrong. But as long as reality is showing you change, which it will, then you're going to go against your truth with reality and have a resistance between your internal truth and the outside, causing this band of confusion. Okay? So I don't want you to solve this. I don't want you to solve this problem. That's an appetite of human. Sly, you want to take over on this? Yeah, okay. Hang on, guys. Roxanne's right. You don't want to solve it. You don't want to solve this. Okay? That's a habit of humanity, to be able to get something problematic and then put it, listen, pay attention, perception. You want to understand perception, pay attention. Put it in a category where your emotional relationship with it, your perception of that is satisfactory, that would achieve a level of solving. But there's never the ending. Do you think reality is this? Do you think reality is one finite idea, a linear idea, when there's this view, and this view, and this view, and this view of the same concept that can go three-dimensionally? Your layers of reality are conclusionary as humanity goes with fact upon a linear idea. But as your history proven to you time and time again, your human experience is not linear. You have timelines being discovered in your history all over the world, but you can't make it fit, but you try to, and the memory's confused, so you science it out, explain it away, hide it, don't know what you do. So here's what you do. Here's what you do, Miriam, right? You not be, don't concern yourself with the outside. If you watch this channel and watch my work and watch Roxanne work, everything is about the internal journey. Why? Because there is no outside. I'm going to get to your perception, but I'm going to give you a little illustration, okay? I got my handy Sharpie. Again, don't forget this. This is fundamental. I am. This is me floating through all reality, creating all these experiences, putting out an incarnation of an Arcturian. Here I am at a Palladian. I'm a Quadican. Hey, maybe I'll mess around with the Fey world. Hey, what's this? It's human. What's the difference? See it? Connection, 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 connection. Separation. All of a sudden, I am, through separation, your memory not remembering the gestalt of you creates an incarnation of I am not. Separation is perception. You get that? You woke up on earth never feeling yourself. You woke up, popped out of mommy's womb in whatever way you were born. You came here and don't know this entire I am, this entire infinite number of selves built on the gestalt of you over and over and over again, changing and building and growing ever, ever lighter, ever greater, ever more without effort. You're that. And then you come here and all of that is gone and you're terrorized. You're absolutely terrified by, I don't know what I am, emptiness, void. Then you start to see, feel ideas outside of you. Because before, all of this was me. This is a reflection of me. I create this as a reflection of consciousness, so I may have an experience with this right here. I create this as a reflection of consciousness in my mirror, my 360, so I may experience peach tea, because that's all I'm doing. I'm experiencing. I'm growing because I touch, feel, taste, love, hate. I do everything to grow me. That's it. There's no reason behind it. But this human mind has to have reason, accountability, responsibility, obligated, and movement of all of these externalized ideas of what you would consider definitions that are valued by the current human perspective. And you dance within those parameters and trying to figure everything out. When I just told you at the beginning, you got to start doing an internal view here. So forget about whatever you learned and now start perceiving reality as you do as a truth. Now, when you receive a reality, and that reality is a friction, a resistance, then you know you are witnessing. You are bearing witness to a belief system that is a condition in you. The condition of polarity, separation. I am awesome. I am not awesome. I am all that is. I am not all that is. So the perception is valuing the separation of I am not. So that perception, that interpretation, that belief system, that resistance, that anything that sparks an human emotion, a perception, is what you got to look at and go, wow, that perception is giving me an experience. So do I need to know the reason why that's there? Do I need to know how to figure it out and solve it? Well, yes, I can be very human about that. But how about if I never interpreted it in the first place as that pain? Egads, Watson, we might be onto something here. If I can't feel, interpret, perceive reality as anything but unconditional love, then what the fuck am I trying to do? I don't have to try to do anything because there's nothing to fix. There is always experience. My vibration wills reality into place. You humans disrupt your vibration of will with a filter. That filter is lacking. That vibration you're putting through the lack, the lack could be I am not God identity, is reflecting and drawing back those things that reinforce as well as offer opportunity of perception to make a different choice. So if you're seeing yourself, so let's say this, you have a person that's and she's a friend, but she can't shut up. She's nosy about your reality. Yes, Lucia. She's nosy about your reality, and she's your friend, and you don't want her to ask so many questions, but you're afraid to tell her, hey, don't ask so many questions about my personal life. I don't want to get into it with you. You're very nosy about these things, and they're not close. They're acquaintances. But she has to get what? What is she getting, everybody? She's getting food. She's getting food to feed on so she can have a problem or perceive a problem and give it back as, hey, Lucia, yeah, I know that, but what about this with that? Oh my God, you better look at that. That's scary. That's fearful. And then Lucia goes, oh my God, you're right. I have to do something about this. Or if not, blah, 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 blah. It's just diarrhea. Okay, it's nothing valuable until, masters, you give it value. You're the one who gives anything creed. So when the circle of light gave you a perception, you gave it value, and that value against your evolution is start to offer a perception resistance. And now you don't know what to do because you're being a follower. Not here, sister. No, you don't follow here. And we don't lead. We are light bearers, way showers. We show you the way to evolve yourself because I can't do it for you. A guide can't do it for you. Prayers can't do it for you. It is your own will, recognition, and work of transcendence of those beliefs. So when that person comes along and is in your business, you go, oh, I'm sorry. Can you please not be that person and be nosy in my life and try to do that? I just prefer you not ask me those personal questions. And if you're afraid, right? If you're afraid that they're going to react to it and you choose not to, then you keep your pain, don't you? Because magically you're hoping they'll get the message and stop. How many times that worked? Right. Okay. So what you do is when something is interacting with you, it is offering a resistance, and you look at it and you go, wow, I'm reacting angrily towards this person. So let me deal with my anger because I'm mad at them because they're not being the person I want them to be. So maybe I should tell them and say, you know what? I'm my own angry, that's me to deal with. I shouldn't be angry at you for being yourself. But how about you shut the fuck up and stop asking me questions about my life that have nothing to do with you? Go find someone else, little chatty Cathy, and start your little rumorville over there. But you don't get to come in my porch and take a shit. Okay, so go away. Bye-bye now. unless you want to be a friend that interacts on a mature level instead of a childish level, to see how much drama we can drum up in a day. If anyone wants drama, just go get into a political argument. It'll real simple, and you'll get into a wonderful, fun-filled idea of arguments, polarity, reason, structures, anger, hope, win, defeat, loss. You'll live the structure of separation. You will reinforce daily with your perception, Master, I am not God. That's what you'll do. Okay? So if you really want to look at what you're doing, you got to look at your perception, interpretation of every unconditional reality out there. Okay? Kamala Harris is unconditional. Donald Trump is unconditional. Stalin, unconditional. Hitler, unconditional. Mother Teresa, unconditional. Everybody is unconditional. How you perceive it is your experience. No one feels your happiness, your hunger, your pain, your suffering, your greatness, your success. It's your interpretation. That's where you create your own world. So if you keep doing the same things and getting confused, trying to logic your way out of creation and figure it out and map creation through human reason and separation, that it's all divided on a linear timeline of reasonality, you need a bus to get back to fucked. So what you can do is, how about let me erase what I am in the past and take in what I am now. And if I have resistances to the now, then I have the ability to create a point of view of neutrality. I create the observer and go, wow, this person is off the deep end about this. They really like that, and I don't like it at all. But are they wrong? No, they're their truth. What's my truth? My reaction is I have a belief that says they're wrong, but they can't be wrong because creation isn't right or wrong. Creation is unreasonably unconditional fucking love. Got it? You're welcome. Now, as you recognize your belief systems, the transcendence becomes the work that we always say. Roxanne says, do the work. The do the work part is taking a belief system and surrendering to it, connecting to the emotions through that surrender, and becoming that experience in its full acceptance of it. So you don't run from pain, you don't run from success, but you don't try to be more than it is. Don't fake yourself out. Live every emotion with the total surrender. Why else would you come to humanity? To fix the planet? To raise a species out of separation? You came here to experience a perception that you can't get anywhere else. Because out of all the incarnations and all of creation in this current space-time continuum that you have chosen to be in, you are the only one that has the brr. No one else has separation. That's why there's no evil aliens. They can't perceive that. Come on, guys. So the work here for you, Miriam, is you are an interpretation. So if I see something as good or bad, I have a belief system that says that. If I'm a human incarnation separate. If I was not, I would see it as an unconditional experience. And my feelings about it, the way I felt about it, would be unconditional love, which is almost insane for the human mind to try to grasp, because your only reality, if someone did an action of a polarized idea, they raped someone or they murdered someone right there in front of you, and it was horrible, and you, as an unconditional being, would see it as an experience, and you wouldn't feel anything but love. That's the mastery you have to find within you. You don't condone the action. You don't reject the action. You experience it through a perception of what is possible in creation. Everyone knew that when you came down here, you can wake up in the morning, stretch, and get a bullet through your head from a drive-by. Everyone knew you can come here and you pop out of the womb and you're deformed. And you have to live a lifetime of some mental or physical handicap. Everyone knows you can come here and spend a lifetime of absolute bliss, living in a tribe in a desert island and never get touched. You can't look at this thing as a macro thing. It's impossible. You can't manage it, but you're not supposed to manage it. Your human ideas of education taught you have to manage your reality and keep these things going and doing all this stuff and show that you are. No, you don't. What you have to do is look at every now, focus now, perceive what you are, accept the truth that you built. That separation idea that you built there is a conglomeration of your journey of belief systems that you put value in. Roxanne put huge value in religion because she was religious, because mom and dad were religious, so they went to Greek. It was an Orthodox church, but sometimes they go to this church and they weren't real solid. But Roxanne took it's like, oh my God, there's a God. Shit, I better be good. I don't want to go there. My God, I'm scared. And I did all the good things. And then she starts seeing how full of shit everybody is about this, because even the ones that were the same idea were preaching counterance, because the division lies within the kingdom here, not out there. There's no division outside. She recognized that the division was in her mind, in their mind. They were divided against their own brethren. But that was their perception, Master. That was their perception. So you got to look at your perception. Everyone chime in. Listen, you got to look at your perception about life. Who else feels it? Be honest. Who else feels your fear? People can empathize or sympathize with you. They cannot feel what you feel. They cannot see what you see. That is the subjective. That is the kingdom of heaven lies within. The truth lies in the eye of the beholder. This is all your kingdom, your perception. Everything is about interpretation. Seth put it and used a word called relationship. It's how you're relating to reality. Everything. So if you have a perception and you discover this perception, and I'm going to talk about what Dana just wrote in the chat there. She just wrote, yes, it's all about perception and belief, but it's not all about belief and perception. It's all about perception. Whether it is a belief and a knowing is what your observer needs to do. A belief implies doubt. A belief has two sides. It can be argued. Go beyond belief, and your perception is always constant. What you got to look at is, can you find in that perception a relationship of something deeper than the belief system that you bought from humanity? Mine is ABC, yours is EDF or whatever. So you can see that everyone has their different relationships about this one thing. And you're all looking at it, we're all looking at it, and we all have our own perception. So where's the perception that offers a knowing? Something that is not argued, nor defended, that doesn't have a counter, it's within your point of view. You find that, you'll find a relationship harmonious with the nature of you. That's this divided mind that released a separation between you and yourself. And that separation started to fade and allowed your nature understanding relationship to be perceived by you. And now you have a relationship with yourself about reality that's a knowing. It's now a knowing. Look, guys, this is hard work. Okay, I'm going to tell you, it's hard work. Why? Because it's a master class. If you keep talking about what's wrong with the world and how do we fix it, all you're doing is managing and enabling polarity. That's not anything. That's creating your world. It's not affecting outside. It's creating your bubble. You put out your truths. How your other people perceive it is their bubble, is their bubble, is their bubble. You don't cause anything. No one ever caused anything in your life. That's just perception. No one is ever at fault. No one is to blame. No one ever betrayed. That's perception. Those are the belief systems you learned about separation. We are outside of ourselves, so that is not me. That is somebody else, and they are not like me, so I have a resistance towards who? Myself, because that's birthed from me. Okay? So you, masters, have to do the work. So, Lucia, when this girl starts to come and gets diarrhea of the mouth, you need to tell her, hey, look, I like you and I want to be friends with you, but you can't keep nosing your way into my reality. And she's going to fight you, Lucia. She's going to fight you. She's going to go, well, wait a minute, but I was just this, and I was just that. And you go, no. If you want to interact with me that way, then I'm not going to interact with you. But if you want to interact with me on a mature level to where we can have conversations that have nothing to do with polarity, pain, suffering, angst, right and wrong, and argument, then good. Have a Coke and a smile. Get out of here. And if you don't want that, hey, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about unconditional. Let's talk about consciousness. If you're interested in consciousness, in ascension, then have and invite people around you that are interested in the same thing. The ones that are continuing to communicate an idea of polarity, give them a heads up. Show your light. Be a light bearer and offer them a truth about you. And if they want to be the light, they'll accept it. If they don't, they'll reject it. And you just keep moving, because they're their own journey. You're not responsible. You can't fix the world. Now, getting back to the idea of Miriam, what the human collective, there's not enough light bearers in the world to change the collective. Well, here's the idea, sister. 3,000 years from now, you guys are Homo Galacticus. So without the participation of you or anybody else, it already happened from a different space-time perspective. So you can have the confidence to accept this truth and say, oh, humanity already ascended, became part of the Galactus, renamed them Homo sapien, evolved into the fourth density, and now is known as Homo Galacticus. Cool. So let's see, what do I want to do? I don't need to concern myself about them. I don't need to fix them. They're not broken. They need representation, and let me be that representation of my own personal enlightenment of myself. And Lucia, you would do the same thing. You told her, bam, you give her light. She doesn't like the light. She goes away from the light. So fuck what? She's not going to die. She's just going to change rooms. She's just going to have her human experience and then go on to her next glorious idea of herself. Don't have fears about people. Don't have fears about your future. Those are your perceptions creating your reality in your now, and it's your pain that you're feeling. Nobody else's. Doing it to yourself. You want to externalize your shit? You want to put God outside of you? You want to put this happens? You want to put this happens? You want to put this as cause? Who's feeling that? Who's creating the world? That? No, that's what you perceive as truth, creating your relationship, creating your experience. Welcome to creating your reality, masters. You picking it up? The hard part is the transcendence. You have an emptiness inside of you. It is fulfilled by identity. It's fulfilled by arguments. It's fulfilled by I'm right and you're wrong. But the idea of separation validated. Either it's the separation is validated through groupings, and with the grouping you always have an opposition, because you're grouping yourself as separate. And in order to be separate, you have to be separate against something. So if you're this sect of Christians, those sect of Christians are different. They're not us. I have my validation. I have my battle. I have my polarity. Who's feeling that? Who's doing it? You. That's not the outside world. You guys, if you get the mastery enough to discover that your bubble is no bigger than this little fucking ball, and there's no Paris, and there's no Russia, and there's no IRS, and there's no banks, and there's no Alabama, and there's no Canada, until you perceive it in the moment, then nothing else is there, because that's the way it works. There's nothing there except whatever you put there in your memory to validate a space-time continuum of a linear life called human. And it's actually all created in the moment and all destroyed in the moment. Only your memory keeps it in place. I have nothing to do with anything until it's in front of me. Because I don't have a perception of outside of me. Because everything outside of me is nothing. Everything that is reflected back to me is me. Okay, masters? So take this big, large world that you think you have to manage in this human collective that you think you have to awaken and put yourself in some heroic role of making a difference is ludicrous. That's an identity, and you have to maintain it through effort. What you have to do is evolve you, because you're already a God. And if you took down the parts of you that say, I'm not God, and your light came out, and that presence and that vibration would pierce the veil of all that were present, would actually pierce and touch their hearts, and they would feel through a reflection the possibility within themselves, and now they have choice to enlighten, ascend themselves. That's how you do it. I can't do it for you, but I can give you light, and I'm doing it right now, and it's beaming high, and it's beaming hot, and it's beaming beautiful. Whether you accept it is not my job. I'm already awesome. It's whether you want to be awesome. You guys figuring that out? Everyone? Good? You got me here. Any questions, everyone? I'll give you a minute to type something in the chat if you're interested. C. Brown says, got it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Remember, the work is the transcendence of the belief system into an unknown. What hurts is the void, because you're not filling it with polarity. So you're going to take a piece out of you that you've been used to. Maybe it's a responsibility self. Maybe an image that you uphold, like you're a good mother, or you're protective this, or you're indispensable at work, or you're a Bible buster pounder about Christ consciousness like that, and this is what it's supposed to be, or you have to live this way, you have to ground, you have to be a vegan, you have to be this, and you have to tell everyone, and you recognize it yourself, and you're going, man, I'm full of shit, aren't I? That's my belief system, that's my bullshit, I gotta change that. See, what you do is you're going to lose that identity, which is going to be discovered. What lies there is the void. So what is the void? The void is the not God perception. And it doesn't have any fulfillment. It's not whole. It's fractalized. So there's no fulfillment in its heart. So when Roxanne takes this piece, there's a void there. But she allows herself to be the void, to be the emptiness. It doesn't follow the mind's appetite going, oh man, let's have some drama. Oh, let's fear this. Oh, well, you got to fix this. What about this? You need to check on that. You know, you got to do this. Roxanne's mind goes 1,000 miles an hour because she was scrutinized so much when she was growing up. Her parents absolutely fucking scrutinized everything she did. So her mind built the system of, oh, well, am I doing this right? What I got? What am I going to do wrong? I got to figure this all out. I can't make a move until it's all perfect. And then when it's good and it's wrong, oh, fuck, I fucked up. I get hurt. Ow, I'm abused. Ow, yeah, ow. Okay, all right, I'll do better. I'll do better. And you live a life of it. Because that's what her perception was. So what she did is she knew that that void was there. And it's going to be filled in with a different part of her, the part of the unconditional love, the I am, the awareness, the isness, that is indispensable, that is a law. It is remained. It is always. So then that started to fill. She took away the appetite. She stopped the appetite. Oh man, I want to argue. I want to yell. I'm so mad. Fuck you. I want to be right. God, I can't. No, don't energize that self. Die to that self. Die to that self. So how do you die to that self? Well, you don't give it energy. You are the destroyer of realities by a mere turn of the head. Collapse. Birth. Okay? So what you do there is you see the appetite of the mind, and you know that the pain of the void is going to be there. You know this decision, if you choose the appetite of the mind and continue the identity, continue that belief system, and have the argument, have the defense, or have the whatever it is that you know you don't need to get into. You know you don't need to get into. And if you have the courage not to choose that, then the void comes. And then you swim in that emptiness and go, my God, this is horrible. And it will be horrible. It's going to hurt. If you can feel it now, Data, it's this looming idea of no purpose. Oh, humans hate no purpose because you're taught, hey, you got to have a purpose. What are you doing today to make yourself better? What did you do today? Oh, I took some time. Oh, I was lazy. God, I didn't do anything productive. I just sat around and did nothing. I'm such a piece of shit. That's your mind selling you a perception of reality because you didn't fulfill the ego identity of production with purpose as an idea. And that's your pain that you love. The effort that you love because it dulls and it masks the void. The emptiness, the I am not worthy of my own existence feeling. But I'm telling you, masters, if you have the courage and you have joined the master class, so don't fight for your diarrhea excuses why you can't. Because you can't attract yourself to this world unless you have within you the possibility of those choices to evolve. And you have awoken. Otherwise, you don't sit in front of me. I attracted, you attracted this moment. So when the void comes, bathe in it, marinate in it, swim in it, feel the emptiness. And your mind is going to want to push you to get rid of the pain and go to the lesser of two evils. Let me find another pain. I'll be fulfilled with identity. It won't be a good time. It'll be argumentative, but I'm used to it. It's familiar. It's who I am. No, it's not. That's the mastery. That's the work. That's the enlightener. That's the ascender. That's the one that forges with courage its own identity returned from the personality into the persona of I am. And you can have that. It's all yours. You have to make the choice. You recognize, you see, you accept, you own that. You don't enact it. The void comes. You swim in the void and you allow yourself to bubble up. A few minutes later, a few moments later, you're like, okay, I'm still here. I'm still now. I'm not dead. I don't like the pain. I need to do something, but I'm not going to because I want to know the new self. I want to birth the unknown. I want to die to the old self and stand on its dead corpse and say, I am anew. Huh? That's the badasses that we are. That's this mastery class. From the highest of high to the lowest of low, of the representation of humanity and polarity. Everybody's a master. Everybody's a god. Everyone's earned their vibrational stopness to co-create with this reality. Athena Jyoti. Athena, hi, darling. It's been a while. We completely silence the mind literally, and like that enters some other kind of perception. Well, we can do a lot of things with the mind, but here's what the mind doesn't do. It doesn't stop creating thought. You can create a reality of silence. but the thoughts are still, as soon as you shift your focus, there's a new thought to relate to and experience. Because we create thought. This reality all about you is thought. The individual singularities are creators, and we create thought, which creates realities, experience. Okay, masters? So you're worth the journey of enlightenment. See what's in your world. Raise your light. Notice and enlighten your reality. That's your perception. And you can find your resistances, those belief systems that offer polarity. And that observer that recognizes that has opportunity to transcend that belief system and move through it, grow from it, and choose an unknown self to be experienced. Okay? To be birthed, to be known. And then we just keep going. Forever. Isn't that the coolest fucking thought? That's one of Roxanne's greatest things. She knows she'll never stop. She's always going to be an experience of herself. What? Yeah. All right, guys. Good. I appreciate you guys tuning in with me and Roxanne. I'm going to return you to Roxanne. We'll, guys, see you in the next now. Till then, to our next now, I bid you a good day. Journey well, masters. Booyah! Man, I love when he gets going like that. That was some good stuff. It's always good stuff with Sly. I mean, in the advanced classes, he just, we always get these new concepts. And if a new concept's come in, we'll take about 3 or 4 weeks to really dive into it. And we add these layers, and then these ideas of one concept and go down for like an hour and a half, and we go this way for another hour. And the next class will go this way on the same concept. And then you get this whole 360-degree view. And these epiphanetic moments about that concept become layered and beautiful and full and round and bubbly and full of life and full of all these ways to look at it. And the greatest thing is none of them are wrong. They're all the same thing. They're the experience of possibility. But our minds, my mind, wanted linear, permanent, make things are in order so we can keep the chaos away. It's all about the now. And the now is wonderful, Jane. Anyways, I'm glad you all tuned in so much. You're welcome, Dana. Great chat idea, everyone. Thanks all for tuning in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Again, if you want to support the channel, there's always, you can donate and go to Odyssey of Ascension, or there's a donate button down there. There, donation would be nice to support the channel. Go to Odyssey of Ascension. My next classes, Ascension classes, won't start until January. I'll put up the date here pretty soon on when they're going to start. Let's see, we're in October, November, December, January. Yeah. And then if you're interested in those Ascension classes, which teaches you absolutely what Sly was talking about, and you dare journey into that unknown version of you and birth that God and have a life of absolute, the biggest word I got is freedom. And it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. Anyways, thanks, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Kim says, my cat enjoyed it. He slept right through it. If you sleep through it, it's a good vibration. I'm telling you. All right, guys. I love you all. Thanks all for tuning in. And we'll see you next week. And between now and then, again, let me know if you need something. You can email me at Odyssey of Ascension there. Okay? Good night, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. Big kisses.